Hallo, willkommen zurück in der Deutschklasse. Ich bin Ihr Professor, Herr Dr. Michael Hughes. Und heute wollen wir Kapitel 1 bis 5 wiederholen für Deutsch 102. Hello, welcome back to the German class. I'm your professor, Dr. Michael Hughes. And today what we're going to do, this is the review of chapters 1 through 5. You saw this at the very end of German 101. And so I'm just going to revisit this for the beginning of German 102. This is all the stuff that you should be studying. Does not count as studying. This is just letting you know what's there and giving you sort of a reminder, right? Let's start with hin und her, which is hither and yon in English. Hin is a movement away from the speaker, and her is movement towards the speaker, right? And so if I say wo bist du, I'm asking where are you, and there's no movement involved, right? That's just what location are you at. Wohin, where are you going? Whither, right? Wohin gehst du? Where to are you going? Where are you going to? And then woher is where from. Right, woher kommst du means where are you coming from, or where do you come from, depending on the context, right? So if we're just meeting each other, oh, woher kommst du? And you say, oh, ich komme aus Paue, right? You know, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Paue. But you could also, if it's a friend of yours and he just walks in the door, your roommate or something, hey, woher kommst du? Ich komme aus der Universität. I'm coming from school. I'm coming from university or something like that. But woher? And so you know that. Woher kommst du? Ich komme aus Kalifornien. Ich komme aus Fallbrook. Ich komme aus San Diego. Ich komme aus die USA. Ich komme aus Amerika. Personal pronouns for the subject, right? So nominative case. Well, remember the subject of the sentence is this person, typically the person, but also could be a thing that's doing the action named by the verb. So ich, kind of like, right? If you're making the sound that an angry cat makes, ich, du. Du is familiar. It is people that you know, people in your family. As college students, you would call other college students du. Always animals, kids, things like that all get called du. Technically, you would call me your professor Z. You wouldn't want to use the familiar form with me, but that's okay. I won't take offense because it's more important that we practice German than get too worried about formality. Yeah, and notice there's an R here, but I'm not saying right, or something like that. Yeah, kind of like right? Yeah. Z, 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 S. Right, so just like English, German has three genders in the pronoun system: he, she, and it. Yeah, Z, S. And unlike English, German has three genders all the way through the noun system. So Z can also mean sort of the equivalent of English it if the noun that we're referring to is masculine or feminine. Wir, and again, that R at the end of the word is going to be more like right? Wir. W's in German always pronounced like V. And the V in German or the V in German is pronounced like an F, right? Think with the Volkswagen, right? Your Volkswagen, Volkswagen. Okay, good. And then we have another Z. So, right, we have the one Z here, which means she. And if you just see it all by itself, you can't really tell. But you'll remember that this corresponds to a verb that ends in T. This Z corresponds to a verb that ends in EN. And it either means they, and there's no gender in the third person plural, right? So just like English, they can be referred to women or men or a mixed group. And it can also be the unfamiliar you, right? So people who are higher social status, people of the same social status who you don't know, right? So if you go into a bank to get some money, if you buy a train ticket, if you meet a bus driver, you go into a grocery store, all the people at the university who aren't also students, you probably are going to use Z with. And again, so Z common, E means either you are coming or it means they are coming. We don't know. Okay, without further context. Okay, regular verbs, we'll use the verb kommen to arrive. So kommen is just the verb, right? The E in there, this is the infinitive form. You can call it the citation form or the dictionary form. If you look up a verb in an English German dictionary or just a German dictionary, that's the form it'll be in. Every single verb in German ends in an EN. Komm is both the root and it's going to be the command for most verbs, except for a couple of regular verbs. You just drop the E in and you'll get the the command form. And then this is the root that we're going to add suffixes onto to get the various forms of the verb, right? So if it's ich komme, and that always goes with ich. Unlike Spanish, right, you might imagine, oh, look, it's got a thing that tells you who the subject is. I don't need to use the subject pronoun. No, this is German. It's never that simple. So ich komme, du kommst, du kommst. And we've seen this, you know, if you read older English literature, you'll see thou kommst, right? And that's what's going on there. And that st always goes with du. This is super salient. Everybody who's learning German picks up on this and tends to put that st everywhere. So that's going to be a challenge that you're going to work against, right? Ich komme, du kommst, kommt, sie kommt, es kommt. That's that t at the end, right? That's sort of the basic form for the third person. Wir kommen, ihr kommt, und sie kommen. Right. So the plural is mostly ends in en. Right. So we come, y'all come, and they come, or you, sir, or ma'am, come. You know, at 8 o'clock or Friday, whatever it is. Right. This ja, right, is English y'all or you guys. And you might imagine that these two, the er kommt and the ihr kommt, are the same verb form, but actually they're not. I mean, they are here. But when we see irregular verb forms in the present, the third person singular, the LZS form will be irregular, and this one still be the same. It'll use the basic root. Okay, like we just said, right? So these suffixes correspond to the particular pronoun. They have to be there for everything in the sentence to correspond and make sense. Right? Okay, good. Woher kommst du? Woher kommst du? Right? And so that's a question super familiar you guys should be with. Guten Tag, wie geht es dir? Mir geht es gut, danke. Guten Tag, ich heiße Michael und du, wie heißt du? Ich heiße, you say whatever your name is. Woher kommst du? Ich komme aus Kalifornien und du, woher kommst du? Right? I come from California and you, where do you come from? Whither comest thou? Ich komme aus Arizona. Woher in Kalifornien kommst du? Where in California are you coming from? Ich komme aus Poway und du? Woher in Arizona kommst du? Ich komme aus Tucson. Tucson. I'm not really sure how to pronounce Tucson in German. In English, it's Tucson. In Spanish, it's Tucson. Du bist dran. Your turn. So we don't really need to go there, but you should be able to do this. You should be able to imagine this dialogue. If I say to you, Guten Tag, you should be able to answer that. Guten Morgen, you should be able to answer that. I should be able to say, wie heißt du? And you should be able to answer that, right? Ich heiße Michael. Und du, wie heißt du? And then I'll say, wie geht's? Wie geht es dir? And you should be able to answer that. Mir geht es gut, danke. Und dir, wie geht es dir? Or if you want to be formal about it, wie geht es Ihnen? Good, okay. And then, woher kommst du? Ich komme aus Kalifornien. So can you do this? Hello, how are you? Hallo, guten Tag, Servus, Grüß Gott, Moin Moin. Wie geht es dir? Wie heißt du? Wie heißt du? This one should be easy since we just talked about that one. Woher kommst du? Woher kommst du? Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Notice there's no H. I'm not pronouncing it's in the spelling, but there's no H. I'm not pronouncing Wiedersehen, right? Wiedersehen. Oder Tschüss. Tschüss. Good. Okay. So to be or not to be. So we're going to look at the German verbs for to be. Oh, sorry, Willie. He's not happy with me. But he didn't speak German anyway, so who cares? So, right, the English, excuse me, in English, to be is the most complicated verb we have. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. It should have 8 different forms, right? So be is your to be or not to be, right? Your infinitive form. I am, he is, we are, you are, they are, I was, you were, he was, they were, and then he is being, a silly goose. He has been a silly goose. Right? But in German, so the verb is sein, S-E-I-N, sein, 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 which looks a lot like the pronoun, or sorry, the possessive adjective his, which is sein, but this is sein, right? 2 syllables, sein. Ich bin, du bist, er ist, es ist, sie ist, right? All 3 of those are going to be the same, er, es, sie. Wir sind, ihr seid, und sie sind. And remember, we're pronouncing these D's. If they show up at the end of the word, they get pronounced like a T. The same is true. B's get pronounced like a P, and G's get pronounced like K's. Oh, look, there's me, full beard. You won't see me like that for a while again. Ich bin alt. Ich bin alt, right? So here I'm just using the ich bin, right? I am old, right? Ich bin alt. Du bist Student. Du bist Student. Oh, that should be capitalized. You capitalize all nouns in German. Sorry about that. I'm not going to start over. Du bist Student. You are a student. You don't have to say du bist ein Student. For things like nationality and occupations, you can just du bist Student, right? Du bist Arzt, du bist Professor. Sie ist schön. Sie ist schön. Sie ist schön. That's like an A sound, but with rounded lips. Sie ist schön, right? She's pretty. Wir sind glücklich. Wir sind glücklich. Right? This is an so that's like an E sound. If you go E and then make your round out your lips and make them look like a donut, you get from E, Wir sind glücklich. We are happy. Glücklich either means happy or it means lucky, depending on the context. Ihr seid nicht so klug. Ihr seid nicht so klug. Ihr seid nicht so klug. You all are not so clever, right? So all you TikTokers out there, any influencers in the class? Maybe don't try that trick. Okay, good. And that means y'all aren't that clever. And ach, sie sind so süß. Sie sind so süß. Right, so here we have sie ist schön, right? And we know that this sie ist schön is one person because of the verb. Sie sind so süß means we know this is plural because of the verb. Means they are so sweet. Right? Okay. Possession, mein, dein, sein, ihr. So mine is just my, dein is yours, sein is his or its, ihr is her. It also means your and y'all's. And then unser isn't up here. Sorry, I should have put that in. That means our. We'll go over that again. We're going to need to practice that a lot this semester. And then some vocabulary. Die Farben. Sie ist schwarz. Sie ist schwarz. Die Spinne is the name of a spider. So I need to use the feminine form here. Sie ist schwarz. Die Spinne. Also, if you want to say you're loopy or a little bit nuts or something like that, right? Your friend says something silly, you can say du spinnst. Du spinnst, this, which is also what a spider does, right? Is to spin a web. Du spinnst, and it means you're nuts. You're being silly. Sie sind rot. Sie sind rot. Right, so those are strawberries. Erdbeeren, die Erdbeere. Erde means earth, so they're earth berries. Sie sind rot, right? They are red. Sie sind blau. Sie sind blau. Das sind die blaue Männer. Ne? Sie sind blau. That's also another way to say that somebody's had a little bit too much to drink. Ach, du bist blau. Means you're drunk. So sie sind blau. There's three of them. That makes it plural. So I'm using they are blue. Die Grünen, that's a political party in Germany, right? That's the Green Party in Germany. So die Grünen, die Grünen. Again, that's a Ü sound. Die Grünen, right? And that's also the color. This color is the same as gelb. Nicht? Es ist gelb. Es ist gelb. Es ist gelb. Nicht? Er ist weiß. He used to be grau, right? And he, Lord of the Rings nerds, right? Wasn't he Gandalf the Grey first, then he falls into the cavern and battle. Anyway, ja, ist weiß. Ja, ist weiß. Oh, look, I have my pictures backwards. Oh, well, ja, ist gelb. Ja, ist gelb. He's mad that I got the picture thing backwards, and his other friends were there being all happy, and now he's just sitting here being grumpy. Und es ist braun. Es ist braun. Das ist Scheiße oder Kacke. Das ist braun. Okay, so that's just some stuff to practice on, some things that you should be remembering, going over for our first couple of weeks of class. Vielen Dank. Thanks for your attention, and talk to you in class. Auf Wiedersehen. Oh, and mpu@csusm.edu. That's my email. You can also contact me through the Canvas website, whatever works for you. But no questions too small.